The dog you think protects you might not be the one who actually can. Every night, millions of homes rely on an animal whose instincts are older than written history itself, quietly standing between safety and danger without anyone fully understanding why. We assume any large dog with a loud bark is automatically enough to keep trouble away from our front door, simply because size and noise feel reassuring. But behavioral scientists studying canine threat response have discovered something most owners never suspect about what real, effective protection actually looks like up close. The breed that barks the loudest in your neighborhood is often the least capable of controlled, intentional defense when something truly happens. Somewhere between instinct, careful breeding, and an ancient bond with humans, one answer keeps emerging again and again, quietly, consistently, almost too obviously to notice. Canine cognition researchers have spent decades mapping how dogs assess distance, body language, and intention faster than the conscious human brain ever could react in the same moment. Evolutionary biologists explain that guarding behavior isn't something trained out of nothing. It's an ancient survival circuit, sharpened across thousands of years of careful, deliberate, selective breeding. Inside a dog's brain, fear and protectiveness are deeply intertwined, which means the right breed doesn't panic under pressure. It quietly calculates, weighs, and chooses its response. Police and military selection programs quietly reveal which breeds consistently outperform every other contender in composure, bite control, and decision-making the moment real pressure arrives. What looks like simple loyalty to most of us is actually a finely tuned nervous system built specifically for split-second protective judgment, refined over countless generations. And once you understand this hidden wiring underneath the surface, the entire idea of the scary dog being the safest dog completely falls apart. Most people picture the German Shepherd standing rigid near a fence line, barking sharply the instant anyone walks past the edge of the property. It's easy to assume this reaction is simple aggression, a dog responding emotionally to strangers without any real thought process happening behind those eyes. In truth, the German Shepherd's brain is running constant threat assessment, reading posture, pacing, and intention, long before it ever decides exactly how to respond. That bark isn't fear, and it isn't hostility either. It's a calculated warning system built entirely around protecting the people this dog has chosen to love. Trainers often describe the Belgian Malinois as restless, almost impossible to physically tire out, constantly scanning hallways, windows, and doorways, even during quiet afternoons. Many owners mistake this hyper-alertness for anxiety, assuming something is wrong with the dog, simply because it never seems able to fully relax inside its own home. Neurologically, the Malinois carries one of the fastest reaction times in the entire canine world, wired specifically for instant, tactical, split-second response under pressure. That restless, watchful energy is devotion wearing a different mask, a mind that simply refuses to stop watching over you, even while everyone else sleeps soundly. A Rottweiler leaning its full, heavy body weight directly against your leg can feel like simple stubbornness, or maybe just clumsy, oversized affection at first glance. Most people assume this breed's calm, heavy presence signals low energy, or even mild disinterest in whatever happens to be going on around the house. That leaning is actually a deliberate positioning behavior, placing their own body between you and any unfamiliar movement appearing somewhere nearby in the room. Underneath that calm, almost sleepy exterior is a guardian instinct, so steady and confident, it rarely ever needs to raise its voice to prove anything. Dobermans are famous for fixing their eyes on a single point near the front door for unusually long, almost uncomfortable stretches of quiet time. People often interpret this as obsessive or slightly strange behavior, something faintly unsettling hiding underneath an otherwise warm and affectionate personality. That sustained, unwavering focus reflects exceptional working memory, allowing this breed to track subtle environmental changes most humans would never even notice happening. It isn't obsession at all, it's a quiet, unspoken promise that nothing slips past their attention while you sleep peacefully just down the hall. The Cane Corso's slow, deliberate walk around the edges of a yard can look almost lazy compared to flashier, more visibly energetic guard breeds. New owners sometimes worry this relaxed pace means the dog lacks real drive, or simply won't react fast enough if something actually went wrong. That unhurried movement is actually strategic territorial patrolling, an ancient guardian instinct passed down carefully through generations of intentional selective breeding choices. Calm, confidence, not aggression, is this breed's true native language, a silent, steady assurance that the entire perimeter is already fully under control. A bull mastiff quietly blocking a doorway with its enormous, immovable body often gets mistaken for simple laziness, or maybe just stubborn refusal to move. Owners frequently assume the dog is being difficult on purpose, refusing to shift out of pure indifference toward whoever happens to be standing nearby. This breed was historically developed to physically intercept intruders without ever biting, relying instead on sheer presence and size as a powerful deterrent. That gentle blocking is protection without violence, strength used purely as a boundary, never as a weapon, born from quiet, unwavering devotion. Akitas are known for staring silently at unfamiliar visitors, offering no bark, no sudden movement, just an unreadable, perfectly steady gaze that lingers. Many people read this stillness as coldness, assuming the dog must be disinterested or somehow emotionally distant from whoever just walked through the door. That silent observation actually reflects an independent, judgment-based temperament, one that evaluates character carefully instead of reacting impulsively to noise or motion alone. It isn't distance at all, it's discernment, a loyalty so selective that once trust is finally given, it becomes almost impossible to break. Giant schnauzers often shadow their owner from room to room throughout the day, rarely settling far from wherever the family happens to gather. This constant following gets dismissed as simple clinginess, a needy personality trait rather than something more deliberate hiding underneath the surface. That shadowing behavior actually mirrors historical guard dog positioning, staying close enough to react instantly the moment any sudden disturbance occurs nearby. Their constant presence beside you isn't dependence at all, it's a self-assigned post, chosen freely out of protective instinct and quiet devotion. Staffordshire Bull Terriers often appear endlessly playful, almost goofy, especially when surrounded by children and familiar faces inside a busy household. This near-constant playfulness leads many people to underestimate the breed completely, assuming it lacks any real protective capability whatsoever underneath the surface. Behavioral studies show this breed possesses remarkable bite inhibition, alongside fierce, unwavering loyalty, switching instantly between gentleness and genuine defense when needed. That contradiction is exactly the point: a dog soft enough for a toddler, yet fiercely protective, the very moment it truly matters most. Boxers frequently bounce on their front paws the moment a stranger approaches, looking almost comically excited rather than seriously alert or concerned. This bouncing energy convinces many owners that boxers are simply too friendly and too playful to ever take real security seriously. That bouncing motion is actually a defensive readiness stance, keeping every muscle loaded and prepared for instant forward movement if it's ever needed. Joy and vigilance aren't opposites inside this breed, they coexist completely, proof that love and protection can share the exact same heartbeat. Across every single one of these breeds, one quiet truth keeps repeating itself in undeniable ways, no matter how different each dog seems on the surface. Protection was never really about size, breed reputation, or how intimidating a dog manages to look while standing guard at your front door. It was always about the invisible thread connecting a dog's nervous system directly to your own safety, your stress levels, and your emotional state. Dogs read micro-expressions, shifts in heart rate, and tension hiding in your voice long before any actual danger has even arrived at the door. That sensitivity is exactly why a true guard dog often calms instantly the moment you relax, mirroring your emotional state almost perfectly in real time. Trust, for them, isn't a command they learned through repetition. It's a biological commitment formed the very moment they quietly chose you. Every protective behavior we so often misread as aggression is, underneath everything, simply love translated into vigilance, patience, and quiet readiness. That is the part most people never stop long enough to notice, even while living beside it every single day of their lives. Once you see this clearly, you can never look at your dog's alertness, its pacing, or its watchful silence in quite the same way again. You stop seeing yourself as an owner responsible for a pet, and start recognizing a partner inside a silent, ancient, unspoken agreement between two species. Your dog isn't simply guarding a house, it's guarding a relationship it has already, quietly, decided is worth protecting with everything it has. That shift in understanding changes everything about how you read, every glance, every pause, every soft bark drifting through the house at night. So the next time your dog stands quietly by the window, know that it isn't boredom you're watching, it's devotion working in real time. The best breed for security was never really about strength, size, or a reputation built mostly on fear and intimidation alone. It was always about a creature wired specifically to notice you, protect you, and stay close, even when absolutely nothing seems wrong at all. If this changed how you see your own dog, even slightly, stay close. There are far more hidden truths still waiting to be understood.